Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing today? I hope you are all well. Again, we have the rain coming down, and I heard that it's supposed to be that way for the rest of the week. Yay! I hope you all are having a nice sunny day. So, I don't know if you've all heard, but 2025 is trending as the grunge year, and I feel that I broke out of my wheelhouse just in time for 2025. So I have been working on these journals that I started called Attic Finds, and I absolutely love how they are turning out, and I'm having so much fun working on these. And since it is the year of the grunge, I feel like for once I am on trend with things. So I'm going to show you how I put this together. That's one that's fully done. This is in my Etsy shop. This one here is the one I just finished a few days ago, and that one is all sewn. So I will show you how to put this together to begin with, and then we'll go from there. So to put one of these together, the first thing you'll need is some kind of ticking. So you'll want, oh gosh, it comes in different colors, and I just love my ticking fabric. Love it. Let's see, you can get ticking in, let me grab some real quick for you. As everything falls over. Okay, so some of the colors, but there are a lot more. You can get it in the green stripe. I got strings everywhere. And most of these I just get off Amazon or thrift stores. You can get it in the, this is blue, but I think it also comes in black. You can get it in the gorgeous red. Love that. And this one is black with precious little hearts running down the lanes. So all kinds of different colors. They have like a light blue. I think they have lavender or purple. I mean, you can just get so many different colors. I love it. My goal is to collect all the colors that I can collect. But for this time we have, and this one has been coffee stained. So your first layer on creating this journal cover will be your ticking. And this one is, I assume it is the blue, the dark blue. Okay. And I have cut this about 12.5. I cut my fabric about 12.5 long, because by the time you get done with all your stitching and everything, it might shrink a little. So I just start out at 12.5. So that's your first layer. The second layer is your, sorry, messing with the strings here. The second layer is your quilt batting. And that I just got, I think I picked this one up at Walmart's, I think. And that is just your Nature's Touch is what I have, cotton batting. And it's not very expensive. Oh, actually this one came from Goodwill. So it was 99 cents. See, I get a lot at the thrift stores, and I just love when I find these treasures like this at the gift stores. The batting, you do want to cut just a little bit smaller than your ticking, okay? And then, you know, fit it on there so it's kind of sticking or kind of sitting away from your ticking fabric. So that's your next layer. The next layer you want to have is your pretty fabric. Whatever you choose for a pretty fabric is your next layer. And that goes down like so. Okay, so that's your next layer. Your fourth layer is your cheesecloth, and that goes right on top. And for this, I'm not really worried about anything sticking out around your layer because I just go ahead, after it's all sewn, I just go ahead and trim the cheesecloth right around. And even as you can tell on this one, I even have some sticking out the edges when I can. And I like that looks when a little, I like that look when a little bit of it is protruding from the edges. And then your final layer is some muslin cloth, and this one that I have here is some that I coffee dyed and then put into the oven, which I, disclaimer, very, very carefully. I think it was on like 250, and I stood right there and watched it dry. And then when it started getting these beautiful marks on it, I let it get marked quite a bit the way I wanted it or liked it. And then I took it out of the oven, and that is what I came up with. Absolutely love this fabric being coffee dyed. So that is your 5 layers. So once you get all your layers together, then all you need to do is take it over to your sewing machine. Just make sure that everything is the way you want it. Actually, first what I do is put some pins in it. I just pin it up all around and make sure that it's the pins are a little away from the, you either can make sure that the pins are a little away from the edge so you can sew around, or you just pull them out as you're sewing. So that's all there is to that. It's just pinning in place. Then you take it over to your sewing machine. I'm just going to fold this for now. This is one that I can throw together later. So you take it over to your sewing machine, and this is what you do with your sewing machine. And what I did is start out, some say it's better to start out in the middle. I don't like to start out in the middle. I like to start out on the end. And what I do is sew all around the end, the outside edge, like so. And then when I come around again, I start going towards the center and just keep going around and around and around. And I keep going until I get to the very middle, which I probably could have gone one more, but that doesn't matter. So that is what you do with your sewing machine. And this is how it looks afterwards. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I probably would make just one more and stop right in the middle there. But that doesn't show anyway once your book is together. So no harm done there. And this is not coffee dyed. This ticking fabric is just plain. I didn't coffee dye this one, but I will be coffee dyeing, I think, because it is grunge year 2025. I will start coffee dyeing them and have them a little more grungy. So this is what you do. And then I haven't decided on this one yet, but I probably will, because I want to show you guys how to do it. If you want, let's see. Oh, this one. I have this one right here. If you want, you can have this look on the inside. And this is where you put little holes in your fabric. And this is the reason for the pretty fabric underneath, because when you start making the little, I call them rat holes. When you start making the little holes, your little flower fabric or whatever you use comes through, and you know, I just like the looks of that with a pretty fabric coming through. And I'll show you this on this side too. So that is what you can do to your inside your covers. And this one, you'll notice I had the red ticking, so I sewed it with the red thread. So that's another option you can have, is just sew different colors on the outside of your journal covers. And this one I sewed with black, as you can probably tell. So to make the little rat holes, as I call them, all I do is, sorry, my palm is itching. What does that mean? I'm coming into some money or something? All you want to do is take your scissors, and I usually try to have some smaller scissors. I cut a little notch in the fabric, and then I try to tear it open a little more just to make it raggedy. And then this stuff that I used, the what do you call it, cheesecloth that I used for this, I don't like it. I'll show you what it is. It's supposedly, it was cheesecloth, but it was a big tablecloth, and I thought it was rather a good amount of cheesecloth for the money. Well, it's not really cheesecloth. It's more like a nylon lining, and it doesn't fray and stuff as well as the cheesecloth, but you get a big amount of it. But I'm not going to use it for my journals because it just doesn't do the fraying. And I did use it on this journal here, and as you can see, you kind of would have to cut through that too to get to the flower fabric below, and I'm going to try that. But yeah, I would not get this. Comes in different colors, large, like for party tables, and it's not cheesecloth. Not what I consider cheesecloth anyway. So I don't know if I can get to that layer. But even if you do, it doesn't tear like the regular cheesecloth. So yeah, I wouldn't use it. And I like to cut and then tear. And as you tear your little holes, just make sure you don't tear into your stitch line. Just don't tear into your stitch line. So that's what I do. I take well, yeah, I do use smaller scissors, and I just cut a little notch out, and then just tear. Like so. And then sometimes I will just, when you tear, it helps to make it nice and raggedy looking. I'm kind of weak today for some reason. Kind of weak today. And then because that tablecloth stuff is in there, I don't like that at all, but I will cut it. And it won't tear at all, so I just cut it and just leave it as raggedy as I can leave it. And then just cut and tear. I don't want too big a hole in the middle, so. But as you see, that will ravel as time goes on. So then that's what you do, is go through and make your little cuts and your little tears, and like I said, it will ravel on its own after a while, and that gives you more of a grunge look, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So that is how you put your little layers together, and then you sew. So with this one here, my journals are attic finds, are what I call my journals, because the attic was my favorite play area when I was little. I loved going into attics and discovering all the vintage, and it was just so fun to me. As a matter of fact, I still like doing it. So this is my recent little picture topper that I put together for this one. And I like how that's going to look right there. And then I made this little, I did use some of that to make this little thing for my, for my topper. So I am trying to use all that stuff. And I thought I would put something like that right up in the corner. So I still can use it for certain things, but I don't like it for as cheesecloth. It just doesn't work for me. But I thought that looked rather okay for an embellishment for my topper, so that's where that's going. And I usually try to put a little bit of a piece of coffee dyed fabric down in this corner, which I'll probably try to put one right down in here. And this has the rusty pin that looks like it's attached to the journal topper. And then the fun part, the very fun part, is going through and decorating these journals. They are so fun, and the grungier you can get them, the better. So if you try to make one of these, I promise you it is fun, very fun to make. So that is what I wanted to show you, since I found out that this is the year of the grunge. I wanted to show you how my grunges are going to be made for the year 2025. So I hope you are inspired to make one of these. They, like I said, they're really fun to make. And if you make one, I wish there was a way I could see pictures. Maybe on my Facebook page or something like that, I could see some of your creations. It would be so fun to see. So that is what I wanted to show you today. And I'll probably sew this one together a little later. But I hope you guys, thank you for joining me today and listening to my grunge story. And have a wonderful rest of the week. Stay healthy, safe, and blessed. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to comment below. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Other than that, Stay dry. Have a fun week. Happy crafting, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.